They called her cursed. They sent demons to kill her, but they made one mistake. They didn't know she was already marked by God. In a dying village where children starved and spirits ruled the night, a young girl dared to pray. While chiefs summoned ancient powers, while elders whispered fear, while thunder cracked through a sky of silence, she knelt alone, whispering scripture. They thought her faith was weakness. They thought the darkness would consume her. But when evil touched what heaven had blessed, the curse shattered itself. What happened in that forbidden grove shook the spirit world. The proud were humbled, the rain returned, and every demon sent to silence her fell silent themselves. This is not just a story. This is a spiritual war, and it all began with one whisper. There is no enchantment against Jacob. Numbers 23:23. The sun hung low like a tired torch in the sky, scorching everything beneath it. Cracks spread across the earth like veins of pain. Rivers had retreated into memory. Leaves fell like ash from withered trees. Animals bleated and collapsed in slow surrender. Ezulu, once known for its lush green, now groaned under a curse it could not name. Women muttered as they walked with empty calabashes in search of water. Men sharpened machetes they hadn't used in months, not for farming, but in case lawlessness came knocking. But in a corner of the village, under a crooked baobab tree, Amara knelt. She was young, no more than 22, but the lines of prayer carved into her spirit made her seem older. Her voice rose gently, steady even as sweat drenched her brows. Father, let your will be done. Shield this land. Reveal yourself. Her mother, Mama Ozioma, watched from the doorway. She didn't understand half the verses Amara quoted, but she had seen something. While everyone's crops died, their gardens still bore fruit. While others fell sick, Amara stood firm. The villagers noticed too. Some whispered, "She's blessed." Others hissed, "She's different, dangerous." Meanwhile, at the other end of the village, inside a thick compound shaded with carved totems and ancient spears, Chief Nadozi sat smoking a long-stemmed pipe. His eyes, hidden behind sun-darkened lids, flickered toward the marketplace. He had once commanded fear. Now villagers slipped away from his shrine to gather at Amara's prayer sessions. "Foolish children," he spat. "They think the girl is powerful. Let's see how she withstands the old gods." He reached under his stool and brought out a small gourd tied with red and black strings. His fingers trembled, not with fear but anticipation. The drought dragged on. By the second month without rain, Ezulu felt more like a graveyard than a village. Babies wailed with dry throats. Elders sat in silence under empty skies. The river that once danced along the edge of the land was now just cracked mud and bones of dead fish. But Amara's house remained untouched. The lemon tree in her backyard bore fruit. The cassava stalks remained green. Even the well outside her compound held water when others dried up. And that's when the whispers began. At first, it was just awe. How is her land still green? Did she store up magic water? Then envy crept in. Maybe she's not really praying. Maybe she's the one causing the drought, taking our blessings. By the third week, envy turned to fear. Children were warned not to walk past her gate. Some villagers threw ashes in front of her house as a ward. A few crossed themselves as she passed. Yet, Amara walked calmly through the dusty paths with her Bible pressed to her chest, quoting Psalm 91 beneath her breath. 1,000 may fall at my side, but it shall not come near me. Still, the atmosphere around her thickened, like storm clouds ready to burst. And in the shadows of the village, Ndoze smiled. "Good," he muttered. "Fear weakens faith. Doubt is the seed of downfall." He'd sent out feelers, planted lies with the gossiping women, bribed the herbalists to call her unnatural. But now, he would do more. That evening, Amara sat with her mother inside their small room. A kerosene lamp flickered gently beside them, casting long shadows. "Amara," Mama Ozioma began, "I'm worried for you." Amara turned, her face calm but serious. "Why, Mama?" "The people, they fear what they don't understand. Some now say you're a witch." Amara didn't flinch. She opened her Bible and pointed to the verse that had become her anchor. Numbers 23:23. "Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, nor divination against Israel. God has covered me," she said, "and whoever touches his anointed touches him." Her mother's eyes glistened. "Just be careful, my daughter. This world, it is not kind to light." Amara smiled. "Then let the darkness prepare to tremble." Outside, a dry wind howled, carrying with it a chill that didn't belong to the weather. In Chief Ndoze's shrine, an old cow's horn shook violently on the shelf. A black clay pot bubbled even without fire. The spirits were stirring, and they had marked Amara. Midnight fell like a curse. Ezulu was silent. Not the peaceful silence of rest, but the kind that makes animals hide and trees stop swaying. The air thickened as if it could hear something approaching. In the heart of the forbidden forest, where even hunters avoided and no child dared play, a group of men gathered, hooded and barefoot, circling a fire that gave off no smoke. Their chants were low, steady, rhythmic like ancient war drums. This was the secret grove, where only the initiated entered, where light was forbidden and power was fed with blood. Chief Ndoze stood at the center, wearing a red robe etched with chalk and charcoal symbols. He held a clay bowl that pulsed like it had a heartbeat of its own. "Tonight," he said, "we break the hedge around the girl." The others murmured agreement, some already trembling with the force building around them. One of them, Obika, the oldest in the group, spoke. "But we've tried. Her prayers, they strike us back." Ndoze's eyes flashed. "That's why we go deeper." He opened the bowl. Inside was a mixture of goat blood, powdered bones, hair that didn't belong to any animal, and a single piece of Amara's wrapper, stolen during one of her prayer walks. A sickly green flame flickered as he poured the contents into the ground. The earth hissed. Then Ndoze spoke an ancient name, one no human had spoken in 200 years. The forest responded. Leaves turned inward, bats screamed and fled. The fire turned blue, then black. Suddenly, a gust of wind knocked half the men backward, but the bowl in Ndoze's hands remained steady. "She stands in fire, but tonight we speak the language of the grave. She will fall." He held up a doll formed from straw, cloth, and human hair. Amara's name was carved into its chest with a piece of broken bone. With a knife, he pierced the doll's chest. Then he said, "Let her sleep not, let her burn, let her breath dry like the river she defies, so be it." The doll's chest smoked. Thunder rumbled, though no clouds were in the sky. And far away, back in her room, Amara suddenly sat up, gasping. Her room swirled, her ears rang, her heart pounded so violently she thought it would explode. Her mother rushed in. "Amara! I can't breathe." Amara fell to the floor, clutching her chest, her eyes wide and distant. The oil lamp flickered violently as if gasping for life. Amara lay sprawled on the floor, her limbs twitching. Her mouth opened, but no words came out, only wheezes and a faint whimper. Her mother knelt beside her, terrified, fanning her with trembling hands. "Jesus, Jesus, Jesus!" Mama Ozioma cried. "Don't take my child!" Outside, animals howled and groaned. Something was moving through the village, something unseen but very much alive. Suddenly, the shadows on the wall stretched longer than they should have. One of them detached itself. It slithered across the floor like spilled ink, coiling toward Amara, and then her lips moved. "There is no enchantment against Jacob," the shadow paused, "nor divination against Israel." The lamp suddenly blazed with fierce light. The shadow shrieked, a sound no human throat could make, and recoiled. The air inside the room turned hot, then cold, then hot again. Amara's body arched, her eyes rolling back. She was no longer in her room. In a vision, she stood in a burning field. Demonic forms circled her, black, smokeless, eyeless. They hissed curses, spit venom, and whispered names meant to break her soul. But Amara stood barefoot in a circle of fire. A voice, clear, thunderous, calm, spoke from above. "Fear not, you are mine." Suddenly a sword of light descended, piercing the ground. The demons shrieked and scattered like dry leaves. A wall of fire formed around her. One dark figure tried to cross it, and burst into flame mid-air. Amara gasped and fell to her knees, tears running down her cheeks. "Who are you, Lord?" she cried in the vision. "I am the one who watches over Israel. No curse can stand when I have blessed." Back in her room, her eyes snapped open. She sat up, soaked in sweat, and gasped for air like someone saved from drowning. Her mother grabbed her. "What happened?" Amara stood slowly, wobbling but focused. She picked up her Bible from the floor, and it fell open, right to Numbers 23:23. "God, you're here," she whispered. She didn't notice that as she stood, the wind outside ceased. The animals calmed. Even the shadows on the wall seemed to straighten and retreat. Across the village, however, Chief Nadozi was wide awake. He sat bolt upright in bed, eyes wide, his bedsheets soaked. Something had gone wrong. The power he summoned had recoiled. He felt it in his bones. He walked to his sacred drum and struck it once. No sound came out. He struck again. Silence. His hands trembled. For the first time in years, he was afraid.